Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I'll be doing another episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives. Today is August 28, 2024. So we see the first scene where Holly is telling Tate, Tate, this is really our fault, if it wasn't for me getting the key at my grandmother's place, Sarah wouldn't be in this predicament right now, and I really just feel bad about this. So Tate is like, don't beat yourself up about this. Like, the only person to blame is the driver, right? So anyways, he gets her to calm down, and then she asks, how did your dad take the whole thing? So he's like, he was a bit disappointed, but he was distracted with something he had to take care of, and he told me he was acting all weird about it. So he told me that, you can take me home. So she's like, let me walk with you, because God knows if we're gonna have any time together after this all, right? So anyways, we go into the next scene. So we see Sarah and Xander, right? Because at this point Sarah's getting ready to be discharged, and he's like, instead of going back to the apartment, why not go to the Kyriakis mansion? Like, it has wheelchair accessibility, we can just move in there, and you will have a staff to wait on you and all of the amenities. So she's like, you know what, let's do it, right? So he takes her to the Kyriakis mansion. So while this is going on, Fiona is at the square. She is talking to Victoria, and she's like, Victoria, you're the only one I can confide in about this whole thing with Brady. So as that is going on, Justin comes up and he's like, Fiona, I'm glad I ran into you. So she's like, what's up? So he's like, I didn't remember to thank you for what you did. And she is like, no need to thank me. I just really wanted the truth to be out. I didn't know that Teresa was doing all this. So he's like, because of you, I get to be with my son over the past year. It has been rough, so I am just grateful to you to be back with my son. And everybody's life is impacted in a positive way because of you, and she's feeling all good about it, right? So anyways, he gets a phone call from Brady, and Brady's like, listen, I need some legal representation, and I got myself in some problem. And he's like, what is a crime? So he's like, I believe that I, hit Sarah with my vehicle and all that. So he's like, all right, I'm on my way. So she's like, what happened? So he's like, it's about Brady. He's at the police station, and he needs my representation. So anyways, he leaves her, and she's just there, thinking to herself, she has this face like, okay, it better him than me. So Justin heads over to the station, and he's like, Brady, what did you get yourself in? Because remember, Brady turned himself in, and Jada has him in the holding room, right? So, the interrogation room. So anyways, Brady's like, I really don't know. Like, I can't remember that night because I was drinking. It's like, oh my gosh, Brady, why would you do this? So it's like, I've just been struggling since Teresa and Alex's wedding, and I just have not been myself. But I really just can't remember what happened. And all I can hear is just screeches of tires, the screeching of the tires in my head over and over. And I just really can't remember that night. So he's like, so you really don't understand? You really don't remember that night? You really don't know if you did it or not? So it's like, no, I don't remember, but I just wanted to do the right thing. So it's like, listen, you did a lot of talking, let me talk. Like, listen, you don't really want to sign away your life like that if there is no concrete evidence that you did it or not, right? So Xander got Sarah settled in, all right. She's in a wheelchair, of course, and she thanks him for all that he has done, to really just be there for her and comfort her through this terrible time, right? So he's like, I will do anything for you, like, you're my wife, like, I will be by your side forever, whatever you need, right? So at some point he did tell Sarah that she moved in. He did text Maggie that she moved in, and he also asked Maggie to tell his mom Fiona that she can move in as well, right? So they're all gonna be under this mansion, all one big happy family. So anyways, he gets a phone call from Jada, and Jada tells him the news about Brady. So apparently he rushed out, and he means business, Xander. So speaking of Maggie, Maggie comes over to Fiona and Victoria, right? So Maggie is like, I just want to see if you wanted to be relieved of grandma duties. So she is like, yeah, I could really need that right now, because she was about to go get something stronger than what she's drinking, child. So anyways, Fiona fills in Maggie on, Brady being the suspect in Sarah's hit and run, and that Justin's representing him. So she's like, oh my gosh, like, are you sure? So he's like, yeah, he's at the police station now. So she's like, does Xander know? And she's like, no. So anyway, she gets a text from Xander, and she tells Fiona that Xander and Sarah are moving into the mansion with Victoria, and he wants her to come along as well. So she's like, me? So he's like, I mean, that's if you really want to. So she's like, all right. She went ahead to go pack her stuff, and Maggie took Victoria back to the mansion, right? So we go back to John and Marlena, right? Because they're trying to figure out, if Brady had anything to do with Sarah's hit and run. Was he drunk? Is he struggling with his sobriety? They're trying to figure it out, right? So John calls Paul, because remember Marlena said something about Paul, checking in on Brady and assuring her that he's all right. So anyways, Paul confessed that even though Brady said he's fine, he caught him almost trying to drink some alcohol, and he stopped him before he could put the glass to his head. So he said, Brady said that he wasn't gonna drink it, but he was having a hard time, giving Teresa, the whole thing with Teresa. So John gets off the phone and he's like, I'm glad to hear that part, but we still need to find Brady, right? So, they're just worried, is something bigger going on with Brady, and he just needs to find it, right? So when he decides to come out, right, Tate and Holly are coming in, and they're just surprised to see Tate. Like, what is he doing here? And Marlena is like, what happened to you? Did you get injured at lacrosse camp? So Tate comes clean about that he wasn't really there, but him and Holly actually was spending time together at the cabin during the summer. So John was like, what does your father think about this? So Tate is like, he was disappointed at first, but something seems to be bothering him. So he just he ran out before I could say anything else, to handle something, but I don't know. So John is like, questioning everything. So Tate is like, is something wrong with my dad? So before John could say something, he got a call from an associate, and they told him that, Brady has been in custody for Sarah's hit and run. So then he informs Tate and Holly and Marlena that, Brady's in custody at this point. So while that is happening, Miss Fiona, she is packing up to go into the Kirax's mansion, right? So she's having second thoughts whether or not she needs to just, confess to actually being the one that hit Sarah over with the car. She's second guessing, because she's like, Brady doesn't really deserve this. But then Fiona, just when we thought she had a conscience, she said, you know what, I worked so hard to have this relationship with Xander, I'm not trying to mess that up, too much to lose. So she is just letting Brady fry out there. So Maggie brings Victoria over to the Kirax's mansion, and she begins to tell Sarah that Brady's a suspect. So Sarah is like, I already know, I was there when Xander got the call from Jada. So she is like, where is Xander? So she's like, he rushed out of here, and he had that look in his eye like he about to kill somebody. So she is just terrified. She tried to stop him, but when Xander has that kind of fire in his eyes, it's not gonna be no good, right? So Xander stormed into the police station, and he's like, where is that guy? Where is Brady? So she's like, he's in the interrogation room, like being questioned. Like, you can't go in there. You can't disrupt my investigation. You need to go home with your wife and let me finish up this thing. So he's like, no way. Like, I need to go confront him, right? So she tried to hold him back, but Xander just ran into the room. He has guns ablaze and all of that. And I'm saying Jada should never have to disclose that location to Xander, because it's like nobody respects these authorities, and they just barge into the interrogation room all the time with no rights. So as you can see in this picture above, Xander go in for the kill. He start to choke Brady. You know, he's like, how could you do this to my wife? Like, really? Like, and Justin tried to take him off and said, like, don't do this. You got Victoria and Sarah to think about that, right? So Jada rushed in and they tried to haul Xander off, and they hauled him off, and Brady's just gasping for air. He's like, sorry, I really didn't mean to hurt her. And he's like, I don't want to hear that. You're going to pay. So I'm like, Xander, you're making these threats in front of a police officer, in front of the police station, like, really? But anyways, Xander means business. So that was it, guys. You know, what did you think about today's episode? Like, you know, don't you think Fiona deserved to get, like, is she gonna get away with this? So let's see. I'll see you guys for an all new recap tomorrow. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Hope you have a blessed day. All right.